Hey everyone, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for really finding this channel, helping me by supporting and subscribing to this channel. I am so grateful. And for one of my video that was blowing up, thank you for that. I am so grateful that you can resonate with it, that you may have very similar situation, or that you can find wisdom in that along your journey. So I am very grateful. I want to share you guys how I came here in this journey. I never even told any of my friends, so I don't even know how to actually begin, but I'll do and try my best. My parents came from Cambodia and Vietnam in the 1990s to America. My parents, they split up and divorced when I was around the age of 4 or 5 years old. So I grew up with my mother and my full brother, who is about 2 years older than me. And we grew up with also my grandmother and some of our aunt and uncles. Growing up, I grew up in a very chaotic environment. Both my parents, I believe, had a lot of trauma. And because they did not know how to actually deal with their trauma, they basically passed that down to their children. And my father, I believe the reason why my mother and my father split up was because my father cheated with my mom multiple times. My father was a very charismatic person. He was very intellectual in business, but he would be the type of person that would never deal with trauma, with emotion, and he never really understood women at all. And so he would blame a lot. And because of this, this created most likely the divorce. And I'm the type of person that is very open-minded. I like to see both sides of the situation, and I like to see through people and not just hear their story or their belief. I like to see people for who they are and accept things for what it is. Because my mother was in a lot of pain, she did not know how to deal with her pain, so she would basically abuse me and my brother physically, emotionally, psychologically, many different things. I remember getting hit with so many different objects many, many times, almost like a habit. And for me, that wasn't even, I could take the physical pain. That's the type of person I am. But for me, it was far deeper. And what really, what really triggered me and really hurt me was the abandonment, the feeling of abandonment and the emotional neglect. Growing up early on, maybe by the age of 8, I was already carrying the burden of the family. I already had responsibility. Anything that my family relatives could not face was basically me solving the problem at an early age. From the outside, I may look stoic, I may look responsible, I may seem mature, but deep inside is a person that is very emotional, very deep, very sensitive, hyper aware, but most importantly, very, very loving. The type of love that I can give is, I would say, unconditional. I'm the type of person that can completely forgive people, and I am the embodiment. When people say family oriented, that's me. Like, that's what I would say put as a priority. Growing up, I would definitely put my family before me. I was the glue. Everybody would put their problems on me, and I would basically always be there for them. And I had to also be there for myself. But by the time that I was for myself, I was already drained, exhausted, depleted, worn down, and there was nobody really for me. People thought I was okay, or they just did not care at all. Early on, I remember by elementary or early middle school, we moved about 7 times. So it was always chaotic, and I had to learn how to adapt to environments very quickly early on. I guess the silver lining within that was me being able to be comfortable and to really trust within myself. By the time we were teenagers, me and my brother, we moved back to our father. My father had 7 children, and he had multiple wives. I believe maybe about four ex-wife, and he remarried and had 2 additional siblings or 2 additional children. One is my half brother, and one is my half sister. They are both younger than me. And for me, like I said, because I'm a very, very loving person, like an empath, I would always be there for both of my siblings when they were young, and I would actually help raise them. With my younger brother, I spent a lot of time raising him, playing games with him, playing sports with him. And with my half sister, me and her are very close. We would have a dynamic where it was almost like I was her father and she was my daughter. I would do a lot of things with her as well. I would spend time with her in the city. I would take her out. I would teach her a lot. I saw all my siblings with love. I gave love to all my siblings as much as I possibly could. Now, here's where things start to get even more deeper and things start to become very problematic. My older brother, my full brother, who I shared the same mom and father, was always despised me and was always envious and jealous of me. And for me, I always knew this, but I believe I could not accept it. I I believe that I wanted to believe something else because I really cared and I really loved my brother. And when I knew he was jealous of me, I would do things, do more favors, try to be more nicer to him in hopes that he will see me in a different light. But if anything, that just made him have more hatred and more jealousy towards me, and wanted to basically take everything from me and have me broken and poor. Both my parents lacked emotional intelligence, so they were not able to see things for what they really are, and they would always protect my brother. They would always enable his behavior to continue. And every time they enabled and and every time both my parents enabled his behavior, my brother became even more of a monster. My father was in the temp agency business. So basically, we would provide temporary staffing and employees to companies, and if they perform well enough, they could be hired as full-time employees. My brother, during that time, we were about 18 to 22ish, and my dad was nearing his retirement, and my brother had the idea that he wanted to create his own LLC and to go behind the family, and to basically move move the contracts under his LLC so that way he could have full control. And I warned my dad because I knew how my brother was, that he was extremely very greedy, and he did not have any empathy at all towards any of our siblings or any of us at all, really. He only cared about really himself and only things that would benefit him. So as I warned my dad basically neglected me, and he basically ignored it, and he allowed it to happen. And so when it did happen, it was already too late. Once my dad started to see my brother's true behavior, there was not much to say because it already happened. And my father is the type of person that he would not admit when he was wrong, because he really felt that as a weakness. Maybe it was through a program or a conditioning, but he kind of simply was quiet about it. I helped the family business. I spent 90 to 100 hours per week helping grow this business. And when I say 90 to 100 hours per week, I don't mean every 2 weeks. I'm talking about every week. I would work like a madman. And for me, I'm a type of person that does not complain at all. This is my first time actually opening up about this. So imagine me holding this in for over 20 years and now speaking about this. This is not even where the problem begins. This is one of many. But anyways, as this business continues to grow, my brother's he starts to basically take majority of all the money, majority of all the profit. And when I told my dad again basically neglects and just simply ignores me. And I was really burnt out. I helped out maybe about 3 years or so, close to 3 years. The true turning point in this, right, is around 2022. 2022 was when, well, there was two things that happened. In 2022, when my mother came to my brother's office, my brother, he has a lot of anger problem. He has a camera in his office, and there's videos of him pulling a gun out on my mom, and he threatened basically to shoot her. And this is the time where I was still helping my brother out, and I saw the footage myself. And at the same time this happened, my sister, who I really love, opened up about what my brother did to her. My brother was basically sexually abusing her from the age of 5 to 11, so for 6 years. And it took her a while to open up because of a lot of trauma. And when she opened up about this is where the split of the family happened, because my dad was basically protecting my brother. My dad cared a lot about his image, and also he was always protecting my brother for all these times. So his ego didn't want to accept that he was wrong all along, and that he was actually protecting the monster. My brother would lie and try to say that my sister is only accusing him of this so that she can get some money from him. Also, my half brother protected my brother as well, and my mother. My mother would make excuses for my brother, saying that, oh, he was too young, he didn't know any better. And she even said that, oh, he didn't have coffee that morning and that's why he was grumpy. Like I said, they both enabled him, still to this day. So when I realized that the whole family is protecting him, I realized that this has to be destroyed. I was the only one that knew this was not right. I stood for my sister, and when I stood for my sister and basically acknowledge the fact that this is totally wrong, and comfort her and love her and be there for her as much as I can, and even help her with her court situation and the whole process. My brother basically had the whole family against me, even when I gave everything to my family. I was the glue. I literally put my whole family before my own self. I was the black sheep. I am the black sheep. And I had the empathetic heart to always love and give, but I was giving to the wrong people. Everybody's problem I would help. And then when that situation happened and my brother turned everyone against me, that was the deepest betrayal. And not just that, but there were so many betrayals. And it's not like I was shot by an arrow in the back. I was literally stabbed with a dagger, with a big sword, multiple swords, by both my brother, by my parents, by everyone. When the situation happened with my sister in 2022, in 2023 was was the decision where I decided to walk away from my family. And when I say family, I just mean blood relative, but really family is through frequency vibration. You know, people that can see you for who you are, the real love, that's family, where they can resonate with you and have the emotional capacity to have the right intention for you, the best intention for you. That's actually family. But anyways, so in 2023 is when I made the decision to walk away from my family, to literally cut off cords and to pull everything, pull all my energy back into myself. At that time, 2023, I was in my late 20s. And mind you, I didn't even know who I was or what I wanted to do because I've spent majority of my life serving my family. I remember when I met my partner, my same brother spread rumors about her and encouraged and basically whispered to my stepmom and to my father to basically influence me to break up with her. And you know what? During that time, I was dumb enough to do so because at that time, I did not want to disappoint my dad. I always put their opinions before mine because I guess I just cared about them so much. I cared about what made them happy, and so I did. And I would make excuses to break up with my girlfriend at that time. And mind you, my partner, who is still my partner today, she really loves me and she's a very good person inside and out. She's the type of person that has she has good intentions. But anyways, so when I did, I broke up with her, and at that time I did not know my brother was actually the one that was basically the mastermind behind all this. And I was hurt. I was hurt. But you know what? A year and a half later, because of real love, we came back. When we came back, my dad was basically trying to have me arrange marriage, and he wasn't really in full support with the decision I made to go back with her. And for the first time in my life, I chose the decision for myself. I explained to my dad that she made me happy and that if I'm happy, aren't you supposed to be happy as a father? And so it was always a weird dynamic because the love was there with me and my partner, but I never fully got the full support. And if anything, I've never been celebrated by any of my siblings, both my brothers. Um, Throughout my whole life, it's almost like the spotlight was always on them, and I would basically always be in the darkness. And I guess maybe the silver lining in that was it made me a very simple person. I'm very content, peaceful, and always chilling. I'm always grateful for the small things in life. But I always remember that both my siblings, my both my brothers never celebrated me. Anything that I achieved, they would always have some sort of negativity or jealousy towards me. So yes, so sorry. Back to what I was saying. So in 2023, when I walked away and separated from my family, this allowed me to spend time within myself more. I had the calling to spend a lot of time out in nature, and so I did. I would literally spend every day out in nature, just being present, just being barefooted, just meditating, literally every day, multiple times. And I didn't go on a YouTube's tutorial to figure out how to meditate or how to ground. I just listened to myself for the first time. I just fully trust in myself for the first time. And when I did this, right, immediately within like 6 months, 3 to 6 months, I started to realize that all these time I was literally being drained. I mean, like, not just physically drained, not just emotionally drained, but spiritually drained. You see, guys, and you guys may also have dealt with this similar situation. I was literally under spiritual attack. Not every family, not every blood relative is your ally. It's all energy. Sometimes, if you're lucky, yes, you can be born into a family and you guys can just, resonate with, you guys can just have the right intentions for each other. But a lot of time, and I'm betting that if you guys watch my video, dude, you guys are the real powerful warriors. You guys are the black sheep. You guys know something is different about you guys. Because look, for you to find my channel, energy attract energy. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys may have gotten the short end of the stick, but what you really have to realize on the grand scheme of things is through every challenge that you encountered, that you faced, was just preparing you for you to realize who the hell you are. You guys don't have a low frequency. There's something very powerful within you guys. You are very connected to the source, to light, to the divine. You guys are very connected to nature, and you guys most likely have a big heart. Even when you guys get hurt a lot of times. Through every time my family hurted me, I forgave them. Literally. Like, I have no hatred at all, even though I've been through the most with them. And it blows my mind. And the ones that hurt me the most, they actually hate me. See, it's all frequency, it's all energy. Me spending time out in nature is also how I also found semen retention. This practice. This practice, see, maybe early on I was not ready, but everything flowed in the right timing. Spending time within myself, doing dark, deep shadow work, facing all my pain, facing all my addiction, facing all and ending all my habits that were keeping me in a low frequency, that was depleting my sexual energy. I literally looked at it, faced it, healed it, and started to literally become who I am now today. What you have to understand is all the trauma can be alchemized. It can literally be transmuted. The more trauma you have, the more powerful you become. But you have to first cut out and walk away from anything that was draining you, that never had the best intention. For you to realize only who you are. See, I could not have realized who I am now had I kept staying with the same people that were draining me. Because when I'm getting drained, I'm in a low frequency, then I don't even know who I am. And so constantly I will continue getting drained, only until I separated and healed and did the work, the inner work, is when I became a full cup, which you guys are probably on that path right now too. But you also have to realize that every trauma, every challenge makes you become even more powerful. And once you become powerful enough, share your story, share your light, share your inspiration. Not only empower yourself, but also empower others. That's really why we're here. And now, as I am literally becoming my most powerful self, the people that were hurting me, they're literally going the opposite way. And no shade on that, but that is universal law. That's karma. That is karma. And of course, they reached back and tried to act like, oh, you know, don't hold grudges and this and that, but it's a trap. You see, everything's energy. When you're rising, that's when they want to lure you back in. These are narcissistic psychopath people. We're in a spiritual warfare. I'm so grateful for everyone, and I know that when you guys are watching this video, you guys are also very powerful as well. You're a very powerful soul and a very loving hearted person. And I congratulate you all, and I appreciate everyone. And I only send you guys much love, abundance, and peace. And I mean it. Thank you.